another Saturday morning. Okay, thank you. And for today, the sharing that I'm going to give is try to answer the question, which is through this slide, and I can see that our volunteers, I'm not sure it's brothers or sisters, but I think that he's very, mindfully listen to Master's teaching and try to make it as a photo, and to illuminate the whole day after listening to Master's teaching, and then he trying to make it as our photo flowing, and to let us to know that what Master is going to say. So, but the question is asking about what is all Buddhas of 3 periods are created in mind. So when I saw this photo and the question, and I think that maybe this volunteers is asking, this is quite, I think, familiar for all of you, include me. For me, when I read this question, I think my mind came up suddenly with these words, 若人意了之善是一切佛，因观法界性一切为心造. So this is, if you wish to understand all Buddhas of the 3 period of time, use to contemplate the nature of Dharma realm. Everything is made from the mind alone. So because it's asking what is all about created by the mind. So I think, I'm not sure whether you will agree or not, but I think as Master's always telling us that actually the Buddha itself, all Buddhas of the 3 periods of time were all originally people who became Buddhas, because our ancient venerable master, ancient Dao Shi have mentioned before, there is no other way to attain enlightenment, to become a Buddha or enlightened one, without going through the Sahara to be practicing into the human realm. So 离开了人间, there's no way to practice to get enlightenment. So I think we should understand that this is the point that we all must be go through the human realm and to go through all the suffering and to understanding and to relieve, to liberate from the suffering, then we can get enlightened in the future. So it's the same thing. So, but it's not that easy to say that, oh, I already get enlightened. I think because even though for the Sakyamuni Buddha or the path or his past life, he have gone through a lot of tremendous challenges in the process before get enlightened. So it's the same thing. We are human beings. So we sometimes when we give a rise with a good deed thought, maybe we will, happily and helping people. But sometimes we will encounter some tiny particles, cases which can pull us down to train to not to go further as a practice in the cultivation way. So it all depends from our mind. So what kind of mind that we supposed to hold on tightly and push us to continue to do this not the easy way. I think let us to go further. Regarding the Sutra of Avatamsaka mentioned that the mind real dharmas are made from the mind alone. And the Buddha is created by your mind, is our human. If our mind cultivates the Buddha Dharma, then you will accomplish the Buddha way. If your mind is delighted by the Bodhisattva, then you will practice the Bodhisattva path and become a Bodhisattva. So that means that if you are one, you have a keen thought, or you have a willing one to put effort to go for the right path, then you will strive the best to do it. In the same way, if our mind wishes to fall into the hell, then we will head to the direction of the hell, which means that if you want to get angry and you can't take control, or you can't let go of your affections, you are not resistant to change. Whatever you encounter the difficulties, and you accepted all the difficulties without trying to solve it, the problem. I think this is kind of like we are let us go through the bad directions very easily, because we are, you know, 随波逐流, we are following our will. Just like you're resistant to change. If you encounter some difficulties, you're resistant to solve the problem, you just let it just happen, and or you know, you act according to you're angry, and you do the action which is wrong. So I think this very easily automatically will drop us to the certain unthoughtful mind, and the action is very easy due to our mind. So it's the same thing. So that's why in the ancient there's a saying that many of those standing at the gate of the hells are Buddhist monk and Taoist priest. This is these words I heard when I back to abroad around 7 years ago. I was thinking that majority include me, thinking that when we having a vow, and you know, to go through the spiritual cultivation, I think that this is, and we are trying to eliminate the bad thing, and we try to do good things rather than do the bad. I mean, when I started to become master's disciple, I think this is just a beginning for me to challenge myself, and to change the habitual tendencies, the bad habits into good. And I'm actually going through the right direction. But why there's a saying that there's a lot of monks or nuns waiting at the gate of the health, which is mean, as you all know, that when we go for our what do you call it, 受戒, ordination precept period time within a month. So we receive a lot of guidance, or we listening, we have learned, or we have listened a lot of precepts that as a Buddhist practitioners must follow. But I think even for a tiny, very small precept, if we can't hold on tightly and we breach the rules or breach the precept, actually it's very easy for us to go down to the hill, because we cannot do that, and we are you know, admin the wrong thing. We're not holding tightly for the precept. So precept is very important. But even though I understand, but if I fail to do it, I think the bad deeds that I do is even more than the good that I have. So there's a saying, other people cannot make you fall into the hell, because become a hungry ghost, or turn into an animal. That happens only because of the offenses that ourselves to committed. So there's a saying that you commit the offenses yourself, and you also undergo the retribution yourself. This is very common sense that we all know as Buddhist practitioners. No matter we are lay practitioners or the monastics, this is all a retribution, or the causes and effect condition. So it's very clear that by our human body, by our body, and we do action, whether it comes up from our mind. So everything, the mind is control of self, or whether you want to do good or bad. So this is as a human, our ordinary beings, our mind is a source of evil, but also can be a source of good deed. It depends what we think. But we tend to listen our will, you know, like I remember Masters mentioned before, some volunteer complained to Masters saying that someone is, pointing back, gossiping the volunteer. I mean, the volunteer complained to Master saying that a group of people unlike her, and they criticize her or saying something, always say she's not doing well, or she's having a bad attitude or whatever. And Master say, if people pointing your mistakes, you should thank that person, because they help you to become a better person. And the volunteers say, I don't like them too, because they do have their own mistake, and I also don't like them. Why they just only pointed at me that I'm wrong? So Masters mentioned that it's up to your choice, since people they're telling you that you have already made mistake, or you have some some bad attitude you need to change, but you're resistant, you still insist on your own habit. So it's up to you. And lastly, Masters mentions that for those who want to get enlightened, the people will be changed. I transform into Chinese is Science mentioned, 想要成佛的人会现改. So if you want to be enlightened, or you want to be a good person, then you will try very hard to change what people give you as a suggestion. So it all depends from our heart, even good or bad, it all depends. So actually, as we know that we are living in now a modern era, so we actually facing a lot of problems, no matter what condition you are in, whether you are wealthy people or poverty people or family. So definitely we all facing a lot of difficulties. So we all categorize as a suffering. So all this are due to we are having too much of thing that we want. Always come from we are having many desires, because if you can't get it, and you will feel unhappy, and you feel very sadness or anything. So to become a Buddha is not easy. To get enlightened is not that easy. So actually the evil, Masters mentioned that okay, what is evil? So the profit, when you want to get some profit, and you will create suffering. So everyone wants to be the first, then everyone wants to get some benefit. Therefore, our mind will never be at peace. This is what Master say. So, but if we resolve to learn and to behave like the Buddha, we should open our heart and listen to others' suggestion, and we ourselves must leave our desire behind, so that we, let us have a peaceful mind, and is like 心观念纯. So it's just like, we easy come and easy go. We let go everything that, that are necessary things. I think this is much more easier for us to have a better life, and we can act like a good man. I think this is it's not easy, because always speed is easier than do. So I think this is we need to take a lot of time to practicing. So this is the following that I want to answer this question. Because as from the just now, the first question and the second question, I think they are linked together, because we are human being. So even though for Buddha, Sakyamuni Buddha, he get enlightened at 2,500 years ago, yet he's still going through a lot of obstacles, and having passing through I don't know how many eons of times of couples that he been keep practicing his own cultivation in this enlightened path. So same as to our human being. I think the answers, the question is asking, as last 2-3 weeks ago, Master still mentioned about the kappa, and I think as a Masters, she gave us a very general idea what is a small kappa or medium, or we call average kappa or the great kappa, and Masters is mentioned regarding in a very general idea in a roughly briefing regarding this. So for the slide that you see now, which is all the numbers, all the years that show on the slide, actually calculated by we modern era by our human. Actually, the Buddha, he did not, in the Buddha Sutra, the Buddhist Sutra, actually the Buddha did not give the exact length of the kappas in terms of years, like you see the slide now with the numbers, which is, however, the Buddha or even though our masters, they only gave us a several a starting analogy to understand what the kappa means for. So from my point of view, regarding this question, actually it's same to our masters. Whenever I heard you mention the kappa for the morning teaching, I would mostly heard she gave us the general idea that the number you can see now actually is calculated by the formula, and is by we human being want to measure up at what exact years that small kappa is. But actually, we can't wait until the time the small kappa pass. We already gone through I don't know how many lives that we've been, to go through the retribution for our lives from past and the present or the future. So I think it's better for us to know that actually the message for this trying to tell us is the kappa is actually is a long time. According to the Buddhist encyclopedia, actually there are several explanations for types of kappas and the duration. This is I get it from the internet, from the Google that I search. Actually, none other than that is very common answer that I can get it even though from our masters or from the internet that I search. Actually, you can't skip one of this explanation is the kappa is a long period of time. Actually, let us to understand the word of kappa. Actually, this is a Sanskrit word. It's a unit of time, and is mentioned that the very long period of time is very difficult to calculate. So, but for Buddha, you can see that in the variety of explanation by the analogy that are given, one of it is you can imagine a huge empty cube at the beginning of a kappa, which is approximately 60 miles in each side. Once every 100 years, you insert a tiny mustard seed into the cube. According to the Buddha mentioned, the huge cube will be filled even before the kappa ends. So you give us an analogy. And the second you can see is imagine a gigantic rocky mountain at the beginning of the kappa. You take a small piece of silt and wipe the mountain once every 100 years. According to the Buddha, the mountain will be completely depleted even before the kappa ends. This one, this analogy I'm quite familiar with because I heard our masters mention before by using a piece of silk, sito, to wipe this, which is on chapter 7, the fattened city, 化成一饼. And the third explanation, which is I get it from Google, there's mention about, for in one instance, when some monks wanted to know how many couples have elapsed so far, the Buddha gave us a below analogy. If you count the total number of sand particles at the depth of the Ganges River, from where it begins to where it ends at the sea, even that number will be less than the number of past couples. Which is this analogy also quite similarly that I heard from our master. Actually, our life, this is what I heard it from our masters on the chapter 7, the fattened city, the parable of the fattened city, one day, masters mentioned that actually the endless dust particles and ceaseless couples. And masters mentioned that like the particles of the dust after the ink of the grains of earth is exalted, the number of words is countless. Even mathematician cannot calculate their boundary. Transcending all numbers, this affinity is long-lasting and vast. This is the words that masters were giving us on that day. So, but I think for the conclusion for my sharing today, actually for my personal view and my personal opinion is like, since we cannot go through, our life is impermanent and short. So the couple is very long period of time, which is I don't know how many generations that I have to go through, then I will, to get this. But I think from the past until now, I have gone through my past generation, I don't know how many times. I don't know what realm that I've been through, even though now I'm human realm, but I don't know in my past, I was in animal or hungry ghosts or, or whatever. So I think masters always tell us to seize the time and to cherish our every second minute. So since if we do not spend our precious time to doing more present thing right now, at the right moment that we can, be a master. We are our master, our own. 我们是我们自己主人. So if we cannot, to cherish the time and we just, just let go and do nothing, I think this is kind of a waste of our life, because at the end, when the last breath that we, before we end our life, maybe when you think back what you have done or what you haven't done, and you feel regret, or you feel like I'm already contentment. I think I already try my best to do, or you will think that regret that, if how good if I still can have more time to continue my mission, or your target that you haven't hit yet. So this is a different way. So it's just like it depends on how we seize the moment. So since we don't know the time, actually the time is from the, in the past is already gone through that we cannot catch. We cannot, but we can only to seize the moment that right now you are in a healthy body, and you're full of energy, and you can can do what you want. So this is the more important. So, but if we can make use of every minute or second, and we devote ourselves to the welfare of all people, which is especially in this hard time of this coronavirus, still rapidly and keep increasing cases. So I think it's the best for us to seize the time to let us to listen to the Dharma and try to live it up, the principles in our daily action, so they will be more meaningful, and so that we will not feel regret that when at the end of our time that you think, oh, how if I can return back to my young age, or the your vitality, energy. So you will think that you want to do a lot and you want to do more. So don't let us feel regret that our time is not enough. So this is a answer that I'm trying to answering the question they're asking by our volunteer. And I'm not sure that you guys will satisfied with my answer or not, but I do hope that if you have a better definition regarding what is kappas or what the master mentioned, because the answer is asking, masters mentioned a small kappa is equivalent to 1 trillion, but which is the one great kappa is 1.3 trillion. So I think it's just like a small different word which is asking. But I think for masters is like telling us that the time is very long for us to go through. So it's no point for us to, you know, just like focus on this small tiny thing, but we must, you know, broaden up to see the moment right now is more important than, you know, the future that we are unpredictable. We cannot, you know, predict the future, but we can only know that the time is still passing, you know, passing on, and you still can. It's a long way to go, but right now we cannot catch the future, but we can grab the moment. So it's more important is like we live it right now, 就是活在当下. So this is my sharing. I think I also can't wait to hear the brother Andrew give us a sharing regarding the plant-based diet. I think I pass it over to sisters Sui-san, right? And to hand it over and to listen the continued sharing. Thank you.
Master DeHuang for the enlightening sharing the replies for these the two questions. Very grateful. We are indeed maybe the first questions apology when the question was free, we didn't explain further. It's based on the memory card that Sister YY very diligently prepared after she listened to Master Shin Fa Xiang, and she got the idea, and she will prepare this memory card daily. So one of the volunteer, after reading this memory card one of the day, I think that particular memory card, that's why the volunteer raised that questions which we sent to Master Master for the very, very enlightening sharing, and truly all the merits of dharmas are made from this mind alone. And on this kalpas, yeah, indeed, from time to time we do receive questions from people who ask, how many exactly years are they in a kalpas? So, Sifu, very grateful to Master DeHuang. Yeah, indeed, let us seize the moment. And today, all of us are very blessed again to have another wonderful sharings, not only from our Hualien Dharma teachers, but also from the global volunteers. We have a brother, very diligent and dedicated, brother Andrew, our Singapore volunteers. He's one of the, I got to know brother Andrew during this Kaohsiung translation team. He leads us every month before we start the translation. He will prepare the schedule and plan everything down for us. If any questions, he will very earnestly explain and share with us together with, of course, brother Eugene and the three sisters from Malaysia. Okay, today, much ado, let us invite brother Andrew. I'm sure everyone is looking forward to this wonderful sharing. Let's go plant-based. Okay, over to you, brother Andrew. Kan.
And then Sister Tzu Chi, and good morning to everyone. Our beloved Master, aboard Sifu, Master DeHuang, our Dharma brothers and sisters. Okay, my name is Andrew. Greetings from Singapore. Okay, so wonderful to be able to have this affinity and these conditions to come together and to share with everyone about what our Tzu Chi Singapore volunteers has been doing for the past year in promoting plant-based diet. Okay, so when and also grateful to Master DeHuang. She mentioned just now that you know, the choice, we have a choice to make the change. But if this change comes from our heart, you know, truly from our heart, sincerely, then this change will be able to last forever. So here it says, when the decision to go meatless, similarly, if you decided you want to go meatless and it comes from a truly sincere heart, then this decision will last forever. Okay, so why do we want to actively promote plant-based diet? I'm sure all of you are very, very familiar with these numbers. Okay, today we have seen so many numbers in Kalpas, but similarly, there's these numbers. And notice that these numbers has increased. It was 2,443 seconds of animals killed per second, but that has increased to 2,556, and this was a 2019 figures. So I'm sure now it has been the numbers is even higher than before. Okay, so with so many killings that's going on in this world, you know, how can there be peace, when there's so much of a collective negative karmas being created? Okay, so with such huge numbers, so why how do we translate this into something that is actionable? Okay, so let's revisit what Master said last year. Back in exactly a year ago, back in 25th of January, on the first day of Lunar New Year, okay, Master gave a sermon to tell us about, about the sufferings of the animals that's been killed for food, and Master's encourage more people to take up early days of the coronavirus outbreak started in Wuhan. And even at that time, Master already sensed that this outbreak it's really serious, and the only way to remedy this is to have more people to go vegetarian. And then just about 1.5 weeks later, on the 3rd of February, the our Hualien, Hualien, decided that we should start the global noon prayer. It's just the morning prayers is not enough. We should have the noon prayer, where we could gather all the sincere piety of everyone globally to pray together to end this pandemic. And fast forward to 26th of December, which is like a year later, and Masters keep saying, still Masters say that we have to promote vegetarian, and we have to stop all the killings of the animals. So you can see, never in a day that Master stopped talking about the sufferings of the animals, and that we all should put in the effort to reduce these sufferings by promoting vegetarian. Now let's reflect back to ourselves. How much effort did I or did you exert to help them? Look at all these animals that is being ready to be slaughtered, to be brought to the slaughterhouse. Now, how much effort did we really put in to help these animals? And Master said that vegetarian is the remedy for COVID-19 pandemic. Now, do we believe that? Do we truly believe that? Okay, look at all these carcasses. Look at all those animals that has been slaughtered and been prepared for human consumption. Okay, now, how can we believe that vegetarian can really overcome this pandemic, and not the vaccines that has been developed and now it's being distributed throughout the world? Okay, as a Buddhist, and as what Master have always taught us, that about the law of karma. Okay, because if we believe in this law of karma and the effects of the collective karma, then we will know that, when we can believe that vegetarian is really the remedy for the pandemic. Because only by stopping the killings, by reducing the negative collective karma and creating more blessings for the world, then only this pandemic could subside. And scientifically, it has shown that the COVID-19 virus, it requires a host to live in and to spread. The virus is not able to live on its own. It cannot just live in the air for a long time, but it requires a living host. And wild animals are known to be natural hosts for the coronaviruses, not just COVID-19, but all kinds of coronaviruses. And in future, there might be even other versions of the strains of the COVID-19. Okay, and being the animals being the hosts of the viruses, and if for human were to consume the animals, and these viruses would spread, from animals to animals, and from animals to humans. Okay, so if more people could be to adopt plant-based diet, to go meatless, that could really stop the transmissions of the viruses from the animals to humans. So belief, it's our starting point. By believing in, and then we could make a decision. We make a decision to go meatless, and then we could take actions. So the mind, how our mind can truly affect our living through our decisions and actions. Okay, so we have seen such big numbers, 2,556 per second, and hundreds of millions of animals being killed per day in a year. Okay, so to some people, these numbers are very, very distant because it's too great. So now let's make it personal. Okay, why not we make it personal? Start from ourselves. How many animals do you save by not eating them? Okay, and these figures is from PETA Australia. PETA stands for people's in ethical treatments of animals. Okay, people who support ethical treatments of animals. So if we do not eat if we adopt plant-based diet, if we go meatless, in 1 month we could actually save more than 8 lives, animal lives, and multiply that by 1 year, it's more than 100 lives, and in 3 years, more than 300 lives. So that is very, very personal. If one person could do that, imagine how this number could grow when more and more people could go into plant-based. Okay, to reach out to the masses, okay, of course, within our Tzu Chi brothers and sisters, within our community, Tzu Chi community, we all know and we all believe what Masters has been preaching, what Masters want us to do, and we all could adopt this plant-based diet easily. But that is not the case for the public. Okay, for the masses, they are so used to eating meat. They're so used to eating the taste of meat, and they're so used to, to the mindset, the mentality that you need to eat meat to stay healthy, to have proteins. You need to eat meat to overcome certain illnesses, and you need to eat meat to have energy and so on. Okay, so in order to outreach to the others, we need to use skillful means. Okay, and this skillful means has to come from, firstly, to create the awareness. Okay, and this awareness has to be created first. So we could make use of the current affair topics. Nowadays is really this is a very common and a hot topic to be discussed about climate change. Okay, now more and more governments are adopting laws that to promote, to mitigate the effects of climate change, and of course the health issues. Health issues affects everyone, our family members, our colleagues, our Dharma brothers and sisters. So these are the topics that we could write on to create the awareness. And secondly, we need to promote rationales. We need to give them reasons to adopt plant-based diet. Not just by telling them, the numbers of killings, the number of, sufferings, animals. Telling a meat eater about this, it doesn't, it won't be able to cause much of an impact to them. Okay, but rather we should give them, tell them in a rational manner, give them reasons why, how it could benefit them. Okay, and this is very important. In our modern society, people want convenience. Okay, so we have to make it convenient, to make it easily available and easily accessible. Okay, to the be it to information, the knowledge about plant-based diets, or even to places where they could really get healthy, delicious, nutritional plant-based or vegetarian food. Okay, and after that, sometimes people nowadays, we are so used to so many varieties, right? So many forms of interesting visuals or videos, or medias and so on. So similarly, in order for us to promote plant-based diet, we have to make it into an interesting format. Okay, we have to make to attract people's interest, and to let them know that, hey, being a vegetarian, adopting plant-based diet is not boring at all. It's really very, very interesting. Okay, there are so many things that is in relation to this, not just food. Okay, and here, this is where we can get our creative juices flow, pun intended. And lastly, to leverage on technology and the social media. Okay, and technology has proven that to be able to reach out to many people, multitudes of people in a low cost and in a very quick way. So that is the power of technology and viral. Just like the COVID-19 virus, how it been transmitted so easily, despite the MCOs and despite all these restrictions and wearing masks, yet it still transmit. Okay, so similarly, if we could make use of the internet and the social media, we could pass on these messages and this awareness and rationales all very easily and very quickly. Okay, 3 main reasons to draw in the public to go vegetarian. Okay, or just to adopt a plant-based diet, cut down on a meat diet. They don't have to go like full-time vegetarian, but just start and consume more plant-based. And we call them the flexitarians. Okay, flexitarian means they're flexible. They're still consuming meat, but they are also taking in more and more plant-based diet. So 3 main reasons. Okay, the number one is for better health. Adopting plant-based diet that is balanced and that is nutritional, that could really keep us physically, mentally, and spiritually healthy. And that is really important. Okay. Now, the second very important reason is to care for the environment. A meat-free diet can help to reduce the environmental damages that is caused by the meat-based industry. Okay, and there are so many facts and figures that has been shown, and so many documentaries to express that, and the world environment is really has changed. Our weather has changed dramatically. So these are reasons that we could use to encourage people to go more plant-based. And thirdly is the respect for life. Going meatless, it's really the most direct way to show our love, to show our respect for animals. Because if we really want to show our compassion, and the compassion isn't just limited to human beings. The compassion, it's really extends out to our animal friends. Okay, and I'm sure there are lots of animal lovers out there, and even animal activists. So these are the people that this is a very good reasons how and we can draw them in to adopt plant-based diet. Okay, so in Singapore, our Tzu Chi staff and volunteers, we have created a movement called Veg Forward. Veg Forward. Okay, notice that in Chinese, the su shi is not the su shi. It's not the su, the vegetarian su, but rather this is the su. It's the su cai, the su. That means vegetables. Okay, here we are not trying to impose our, our belief and our thinking onto people that, hey, you must go 100% vegetarian, otherwise, you are not a good person. No, here what we are trying to do, reaching out to the public, we're telling them that, hey, let's go plant-based, with so many benefits. Let's go plant-based. So Veg Forward is a movement to allow people to enjoy better food at the same time to enjoy balance. Plant-based diets. Okay, there's so many. I won't call them fake news, but myths, okay, misconceptions. Okay, maybe it's because since young, people has been taught that you need to eat meat, to stay healthy. Okay, so we want to debunk myths on plant-based diet and shed light on how this plant-based diet can really be appealing. It can be nutritionally balanced, convenient. It's not troublesome at all. If you want to have meals together with our vegan friends, it's not troublesome. And it could be very interesting. Okay. And these are some of the programs that we have created and that we have shared with the public. So things like, okay, for example, like how to prepare for a self-sufficient, a sustainable future. So here we are, we invite shared speakers to talk about growing your own vegetable at home. And we are talking about urban farming. We're talking about food security and sustainable living. And we also have topics that talk about the nutritional facts. We invited nutritionists to come and share with us what are the nutrients that you could absorb, that you could get from plant-based diet. And we also have the physical trainers, the fitness trainers, people who are very, very fit. They go to the gym and they'll come and share with us, how they could get fitter, how they became more healthier by going plant-based diet. Okay. And of course, we also have topics about health and sustainable plant-based protein. We invited the manufacturer of the plant-based food. The brand is Corn. You might have seen their products in the supermarket. Okay, the frozen meat alternative products. So you invite them to come and share. What is in their food, what is their product, why is it so healthy? Okay, and then also the different types of plant-based diets. Okay, there's not just one type, but there are many, many different types. Okay, and we also initiated a scheme called Pledge and Go. Okay, the objective of this is to encourage more people to try plant-based diet, plant-based food. I mean, this is really targeted at the flexitarians and people who are, they might want to give it a try, and also to show a way to show our love and care for our environment. Okay, and how do we do this? Is by partnering with vegetarian restaurants and stalls to participate in this program, to incentivize their customers who patronize them. Okay, patronize their outlets by giving them reward points. Okay, and so that they could come back again and again, and it also benefits and help to promote the businesses of these vegetarian restaurants and stores. Okay, so to invite these F&B outlets to join the Pledge and Go, so we mobilize our community volunteers, our Tzu Chi, to reach out to talk to the store owners, the bosses, and to explain to them and to get them to come on board and join us in this program, because it's a win-win thing. the more people who come and patronize them, it's good for their business, and it's also create a bigger market of plant-based eaters. Okay. So to our customers, they'll be rewarded, and by visiting the F&B outlet, they just need to use their mobile phone and scan a QR code, enter their mobile number, and they will collect 1 point. Okay, this is kind of like your bonus link. In Malaysia, you have bonus link, and you have all kinds of reward schemes. Yeah. So by collecting the points, if you collected like more than 30 points, 30 to 900 points, you have reached the status of animals liberator. And then you'll be able to get a 5% discount when you go and patronize the stores that are in this program. Okay, and then the next level will be nature's savior. So we liberate the animals from being killed, and then we save the nature, our environment. And of course, you go higher is our earth sustainer. We're sustaining the earth for our future generations. Then you get more discounts. Okay, so, and then we put all the locations to make it convenient for people. We put all the locations of these restaurants on a Google map. Okay, and as of now, we have close to 100 participating outlets. So anywhere that they are in, they can just open a Google map and they will be able to see, oh, where are the stalls that has got this pledge and go, and I shall go and patronize them. Okay, so that is on the outreaching part. Now, taking advantage of the social media, we all know that Facebook is very, very popular. Okay, among our in Southeast Asia, in Singapore, Malaysia. So, and so a group of our volunteers, we created this Facebook live broadcast. Okay, and this live broadcast we call it the Eatcast. So as the name suggests, our volunteers will go to a certain restaurant, maybe their favorite vegetarian restaurant, and they will go and eat there, and they will introduce, the type of food that's being served there, the cuisine, and why they like and why they like to eat the food there. And they will also be sharing about why they become a vegetarian or a vegan or a flexitarian, and what benefits they could derive out from there. So we started this by getting our volunteers to come and come and share about their favorite restaurants. Okay, and subsequently the next sessions, seasons, okay, just like your Netflix, you got multiple seasons. So first season is by our volunteers, then the second season is by the children, by the kids. So we get children to come and talk about being a vegetarian, talk about what are their favorite food, okay, that are meatless and plant-based. Okay, and that is for season 2. And because everyone has got different affinities and different connections with different people, right? So getting more and more people to share, to come on a Facebook Live, and everyone has their own friends, have their own fans. Okay, so by sharing this in their Facebook page, and different people, they'll be able to reach out to people who they have affinity with. So even for children, okay, a lot of parents, other parents, they also like to watch videos of other children's. So that could also help to encourage them. Now we have come to the season 3. So for season 3, we enroll our TEMA members, meaning our doctors and nurses, our healthcare professionals. So they will be the one to come and recommend and introduce a vegetarian food. So this season we call it the Eatcast Medics. They are the medics, okay, and this was run since last month till this month. Okay, so we have our doctors and nurses, and because they are the medical professionals, so besides recommending what food is good, which restaurant is nice, they will also be talking about health topics. Okay, because health, we want to show people that to take good care of our health, plant-based is the way to go. So we have topics about, how to lose weight, via a vegetarian diet, or a plain plant-based diet. How do we lose weight? This is a very it's a very popular topic where a lot of people are very interested in. And we have topics about vegetarian and how to achieve healthy guts. Okay, our guts, our digestive systems, how to have how to overcome constipation. And we also talk about muscle loss, okay, sarcopenia, and how vegetarian could also help to reduce muscle or prevent muscle loss. And there's also a misconception that if you don't eat meat, you will get anemia. You have a lack of red blood cells, or whatever. Okay, but that is not true. So here, our doctors, we were talking about uh, uh, plant-based diet actually could also help in your anemia conditions. Okay, and then you have compassions. Now notice that every topic, we have these illustrations, these drawings, these nice cartoons. These drawings are drawn by our medical professionals. So they're not just good at at a medical, but they're also good at drawing. Okay, and we have topics about longevity. Okay, and how to live a life full to the fullest, and topics about lung, about breathing. Okay, now with this COVID-19, we know it's a form of pneumonia virus, and so how do we take good care of our lungs? Okay, and of course our skin, how to have a silky and sparkling skin, a favorite topic among the ladies. And also topic about kidney. How do we protect our kidneys, and how do we have a better kidney through plant-based diet? So many interesting topics, right? And then there's children's health, okay, as well as mental health. Okay, so all these are a very a good variety of health topics that would be interesting to many people. Okay, and then we relate that into the plant-based diet. Any more? Let me see. Oh, okay, some more. We have the science of happiness, where we talk about how good food can really brings good mood. Okay, and how to improve on the hormones, and alleviate our mood. Okay, through plant-based diet. And our TCM, our traditional Chinese medicine practitioner, they will also be recommending to us good food, as well as the physique, our physical wellness. Okay. And yeah, so I'm coming to the end of my sharing. So teachings by our Master Cheng. Okay, masters taught us not to partake in dead meals, but rather let us only consume gratitude meals. So what is dead meals? Dead meals are meat-based, meaning it involves killing of animals, of living beings. Okay, and when there's killing, you are adding into your karmic debt, and this debt has to be repaid back, be it in this life or in our future lives. So instead, we should choose. We have a choice, and we should choose to only consume gratitude meals, meals that are provided by our nature, meals that are wholesome, meals, the whole grain meals, okay, plant-based meals. These are meals that we should be grateful for, because these are provided by our Mother Earth, okay. And so consuming gratitude meals, that could ensure our sustainable living on this planet Earth. And vegetarian alone is not enough. You need to have love and compassion. But having just love and compassion, being a loving person, a compassionate person, but yet you are not a vegetarian yet, it somehow it's not complete. Okay, it's still it's not a complete circle yet. We need to have a full perfect circle by being a vegetarian and to have love and compassion. So I would like to end this by showing our gratitude and our love and respect to the animals, and to use a grateful heart to learn from the pandemic, okay, from all these adversities that has been going on in the world, and is continue to rage, is continue to cause untold sufferings in so many countries in the world, affecting so many people. And I'm sure our brothers and sisters in Malaysia, you are also affected by all these restrictions and control. Some of your livelihoods are also affected. So we want to use a Master want us to use a grateful heart, a truly sincere grateful heart, to learn, to really, really learn from this epidemic. Okay, so with that, I end my sharing. 感恩 for the opportunities to share, and may all sentient beings be well and happy always. 感恩。
Superb. 感恩 Brother Andrew for the amazing, superb sharing. 很感恩 Yeah, Master DeHuang apologize because Master DeHuang needs to take a move, rush for the 8 o'clock duties. Master DeHuang extended her deepest gratitude to Brother Andrew for such insightful and really amazing sharing. Truly wonderful ways and creative ways to promote vegetarian. We are very grateful because I think everyone is aware that Malaysia side, our situation is getting more alarming. Instead of going down, the number seems to be going up. So at the communities, everyone also pushing, promoting this vegetarian meals. There's this superhero campaign, but now understanding our brother Andrew's how Singapore is doing it real. Definitely, we will have a look also. That it's all these wonderful Dharma doors, all the ideas will flow in, ever flowing, and we are very grateful. Yeah.